Hello students, let us now look at the mesh analysis of AC circuits. So we have seen mesh analysis and nodal analysis of DC circuit. Now we are going to go for AC circuit. So all the max that we have studied for AC is now going to be used. So what is the question? Find the mesh currents I1 and I2 in the network shown. The network is given and we have to basically find out. Now the first step is we have to convert this circuit which is in time based to a frequency based. Frequency based means we have to convert all the values into complex values. Then only we will be able to solve. So we can say that generally for the case of a resistor, we write the impedance Z as R ohm itself. Whereas for the case of a inductor, the ZL or the impedance of the inductor is going to be J omega L, and for the case of capacitor, the impedance ZC is going to be minus J by omega C. Now from this particular question we can see that the frequency is given as sine 10t. So omega is going to be equal to 10. Where did we take that from? We took it from here. Sine 10t. Next, we have to find out the value of ZL. So ZL will become J, omega is 10 into L. Now we are having two cases. Let us suppose that this is L1 and this is L2. So I will write ZL1. So ZL1 is going to be 10 into 0.4 henries, which comes out to be 4J ohms. Okay. Then ZL2 will become again J omega is 10 into the second one is 1 Henry, so it is going to be 10J ohms. We can write it as 10J or we can even write it as J10. It does not matter. Okay. Next we have to find out ZC. So this one was ZL2. ZC is minus J divided by omega is 10 into 0.01, which comes out to be minus J by 0.1, which is basically minus J10. So ZC is minus J10, ZL1 is 4J and ZL2 is 10J. So that we are going to write here. So 3, there is no change in resistor, so that is 3 ohm. This inductor 0.4 basically becomes J4 ohms. Similarly, this one becomes J10 ohms and this one becomes minus J10 ohms. Okay. Now what is remaining is the voltage. Okay. Now here the voltage is written, generally it's a time base, so I will write V of t. But here we will write capital V. Why? Because in frequency base it's always written in capital. It's always written in capital. Then I am having this one to be converted into phasor. If you remember, what we used to do for that is we used to draw a small, phasor diagram, and then minus sign. Where is minus sign? So if you remember, I had very clearly said that this is cos, this is minus sign, this is sine, and this is minus cos. So this is minus sign. Why I am saying that this is minus sign? Because we are having minus 100 sign. So from minus sign we have to go minus 45 degree, and minus 45 degree, if you remember, is going clockwise, correct? So from the minus sign axis, we have to go in clockwise direction 45 degrees. That is what is the phasor diagram going to be. So let me draw it using a different color. So from minus sign I have to go minus 45, that means I have to go in clockwise direction 45. So this is going to be minus 45. Now if I have to write it in phasor format, I will see what is the phasor format. I have to look from the C axis. From the C axis, this is going to be in clockwise direction. It is going to be anti-clockwise direction. It is going to be 45 degrees. 45 degrees, sorry. So from cos, it is going to be 45 degree plus 45 degree, because we are going counterclockwise. If we would have to go in the opposite direction, then I would have taken 180 degree plus this much angle to write it as clockwise, that is minus degree. But now from cos, I have to simply go to this phasor by moving in the counterclockwise direction. So now the magnitude is going to be 100. So it is 100. Let me use a different color. So 100 angle 45 degree. Why did this 45? Because we have to always look what is the phasor with respect to cos, and that is what we have to write here. We have to always draw the phasor according to what is written in the equation, and then after we have drawn that phasor, then we have to see from cos axis whether it is going positive or negative. Now here it is going counterclockwise, so it is going to be positive. If it have been in clockwise direction, I would have taken that angle as negative. But here it is positive, so it is going to be 145. Okay, I did this example because I thought that previously some people have made a mistake. Anyway, now since the voltage is done, now I have to find I1. Now look here very carefully. This current is small I1 and this is small I2. That is okay for the case of time based, but for the case of frequency domain circuit or frequency based circuit, I will write this as capital I1. This will be capital I2. So this is my frequency domain AC circuit. Please remember this because I am not going to say it again in another problems. This is a frequency domain AC circuit. Because it's a frequency domain AC circuit, now we can do the calculation. Whatever is the mesh analysis we have studied, we can do all of that. There is no problem at all. Now in the examination, you may either be given this circuit, or 80% of the time you are mostly given directly this circuit. So you don't have to go through all of this things that we have done here for converting it. We don't have to do. So 80% of the time mostly the circuit diagram will be given like this. Sometimes they do a small mistake that they give these values and they write the voltage in this phasor format. What is the problem in that case? In that case, omega is missing. So you can never convert these point h values to J4 if you have got the voltage not written in this way but written in the phasor form. Because when you write the equation in this form, you can take out the omega frequency, the omega value. Whereas in the phasor form, you are not going to have the omega value. So we have had certain mistakes in the university question wherein there was given the phasor format of the voltage, but the values were given all in henries and farads. In such a case, what you can best do is you can assume a value of omega, redraw the circuit and do the problem. It's not a problem anyway. So up till this much point, always in every problem you don't have to do. Now from here we will do the mesh analysis. For that, let me start by first writing KVL at mesh 1. So the current is going like this. We all know plus here, minus here, plus here, minus here, plus here, minus here. So I will write, it is going to be 100 angle 45 degrees. Now if I am going to take the back, I should write a minus here. Now very carefully you listen to this. Very carefully you should listen. See, I can never write in a polar format a minus here because it's wrong. Because this value has to be always positive in polar format. Always it has to be positive. So if at all I am going to write a negative, what I have to do is I have to write it by multiplying it with a minus 1. So I will multiply this with minus 1. Now you might be asking, is it necessary for writing minus 1 and multiplying with it? No, you can write on a paper, you can write something like this also. But the problem is when you do in a calculator, you will forget that this is, this is minus. Sometimes you may straight away write minus 100. If something like that happens, then the whole question is going to be wrong. So that's why I write it with a minus 1. But you can even follow the minus with a bracket. So let me follow with a minus with a bracket because that is okay for a calculator, this second way. But never use this method of minus 100 directly. So let me rewrite it. So I am going to go from back of the bogie. So I will take from back of the element or back of the bogie, as I say, it is going to be minus of 100 angle 45 degrees. In calculator also you should use the bracket. Okay. Then we are having plus 3i1 plus j4 or 4j, whatever you want to write. I will write 4j i1 plus 10j i1 minus i2. Now why did I write 10j? Because in the calculator if you write 10i it is okay, but if you write i10 it's going to give you a wrong answer. So always in the calculator you have to write first the number and then I. So that's why I have written here directly like this, because finally we look at the equation and we enter the values in the calculator, and this is going to be equal to 0. Now here I can arrange the I1 values together. So I will be having 3 plus 4j plus 10j into I1, then minus 10j into I2 is equal to, if I take the minus sign the other side, then I will basically get 100 angle 45 degrees. Okay, so again I have got this in a simultaneous equation. So this is the first equation. So from one mesh I get one equation. Next I write the KVL. Sorry, this I cannot write it now because I have not solved it any further. So let me, so this is going to be, first what I do, I add all the real numbers. So here only real number is 3. So 3 plus 4j and 10j are the imaginary. Those two I add together. So 4 plus 10 is going to be 14j. Okay. Or if you are that much confused, you can use the calculator directly to find out that. Minus 10j I2 is equal to 100 angle 45 degree. Okay. And this is going to be our equation 1. Next, let me write the KVL at mesh 2. Now, KVL at mesh 2, as I always do, I always write inside that mesh the signs. So I2 is flowing like this. So this is going to be plus, this is going to be minus, this is going to be plus, this is going to be minus. So the equation is going to be 10J I2 minus I1. Why I2 I have written first here? Because now the mesh is the second mesh. If I would have written for the first mesh, I1 is the main. So I will write all I1 minus whatever is the other current. But now since I am looking at the second mesh, I have to always write I2 as the dominant current. Okay, so I2 minus I1. So I have chosen back of the element, so it is plus here. Similarly here it is going to be back of the element, which is again plus. So plus of, let me take the different color, so plus of minus 10J I2, and that is equal to 0. From here I can see that in I1 I am having only 1, so this is minus 10J I1 plus, for I2 I am having 10J minus 10J I2 is equal to 0, from which I can actually write minus 10J I1 plus 0 I2 is equal to 0. This is going to be my second equation. Now remember here, from here we can do the simultaneous equation, solving of the simultaneous equation, but the problem with that is that, this is important, the problem with that is we don't have a calculator which is having both the simultaneous equation as well as complex number calculation together. So I will write here, note, this you need not write it in your notebook because this is just for the first problem. I will not repeat this point again. Note, we cannot use calculator with complex and simultaneous equation together. This we cannot use, nor can we use complex with matrix. There is a matrix solving method which you might have learned last year. So even in matrix method you cannot use complex with matrix. So the only method that is there is we use only the matrix method, we use only the complex calculation, and we don't use the matrix method, but we use on paper the matrix method. So how do we do it? One of the ways to do it is we write, therefore, from 1 and 2, let me write that equation so that 1 and 2 you can see. Let me write it using different colors. So I will write 3 plus 14J I1 minus 10J I2 is equal to 0, is equal to 10 angle, so that I will write in a different color. The second equation is minus 10J I1 0 I2 is equal to, so now let me use a different color. So this will be 3 plus 14J I1 and this will be I2, that is going to be equal to, that I will use a different color. The second equation, this is I1 plus 0 I2 is equal to, that also I am going to use a different color. Let me use this color. So this is going to be 100 angle 45 degrees and this is going to be 0. So from 1 and 2 we have got this equation. Now this in matrix form. In matrix form, if you remember, in matrix form we can write this as the matrix 3 plus 14j. Okay, let me use the same color so that again you will get slightly a better idea. So 3 plus 14j minus 10, this is minus 10, so it is minus 10j, I forgot, this is also minus 10j. So one of the things you have to be very careful when you do, because the problems get very easily wrong if you are not very careful. This multiplied with whatever it is, the current, which is I1, I2, and that is going to give us two values. One is and using red I will write, one is 100 angle 45 degrees and the other one is 0. Okay, now if you remember the determinant method, if you find out the determinant, this will be delta. Okay, this will be delta, and I1 will be delta 1 divided by delta, where delta 1 is you replace this one with this one. If you replace that and then you take the determinant, you will get delta 1. Similarly, what is going to be I2 you have to replace this one with this one, and then you take the determinant of this whole one, you will get delta 2. Clear? So I can now write I2 is equal to delta 2 by delta. So if I am going to solve that, I will get the answer. So let me solve it. So let me take this and let me take it the other page and then do it. So I have written this. Now taking delta, I will get, so the delta value, if we write for this particular equation, we will get in this format, where if you remember we had said that the matrix multiplication is this into this minus this into this, and that is what we have written here. We can use a calculator or directly we can write the answer here. So it's going to be, this into 0 is going to be 0 minus of minus 10j into minus 10j. If you use a calculator, always use a calculator because people make silly in calculating this, and we will get the answer as 100. So this is minus 100. That is delta. Next, delta 1, if we are going to calculate, we will get, where if I do the multiplication, so it's 0 minus 0 itself. So the answer is going to be 0. Next, if I am trying to calculate delta 2, I will get this, from where you can very clearly see what I have done, and I get this particular answer for delta 2. Now there is a small mistake that I noticed. I went back again and I noticed that I have done a small mistake, and the mistake is that here when I am writing the mesh equation, this was plus j and this one was minus 10. The mistake is here. This says minus of minus 100, which comes out to be plus 100. Okay, so now it is okay. So now we are going to directly find out we are going to find out I1, which is delta 1 divided by delta, which is 0 divided by delta, which comes out to be 0 amperes. So it is always 0 because numerator is 0. Next, for I2 we will find out delta 2 divided by delta, We know that delta 2 is minus 707.1 plus 707.1 j divided by delta is 100. Okay, so it is 100, and this if you would do, we will get the answer as minus 7.07 plus 7.07 j. Now always remember, I always ask the students to write the final answer in both rectangular as well as in polar. So polar, you have to just do rectangular to polar conversion. So rectangular to polar conversion will give me the answer as 10 angle 135. 135 degrees. Why I ask always my students to do the answer always in rectangular as well as in polar, because the university scheme, we don't know what is the answer written, whether it is written in rectangular or whether it is written in polar. So if your answer is written in both, then the good thing is whatever is written in the university scheme, very quickly the teacher will be able to match it, and then they will come to a conclusion that okay, this answer is correct. If your answers are very neatly written, you will get very good marks. Otherwise, it will take a bit of a struggle for the teacher to go through your answers. So always try to make the answers as clear as possible. Now, one more thing is left. We have found I1 and I2. What is left is how the question was given. See, the question was given directly as an AC circuit, and the current is time based. So we have to write the answer also in time basis. That is what is remaining. Now if it is not written in, if it is not written or given in time base, if it is directly given in this form of a frequency domain AC circuit, then the problem is getting directly finished here, and most of the cases it will be like that. But now since it is written in AC circuit in time domain, I will write therefore I1 of t is equal to 0 and I2 of t is going to be equal to, this I have to write from phasor to normal format. This will be 10 cos, omega is 10 if you remember. So 10t plus 135 degree. Now it is over. So this is how we do AC circuit. As you can see, it's almost 28 minutes to do this problem, and it took me to explain this problem. Today we will be doing only this problem. I want you to go again and try to do it on your own so that you understand this very, very clearly. Thank you.